The show begins. Yes, Ecuador versus Cote d'Ivoire. It's going to be a tough game today. One of the most interesting thing I want to see in this game is the midfield battle. Yeah, the midfield battle with Fofana, Frank Kessier, and Moises Caicedo. And Franco in that midfield, the man himself, Alan. And I want to see how they're going to match up. Those two players from each teams, the matchup in the midfield could see already where Fofana is getting as close as possible to Moises Caicedo. But yes, good game, in Group E, very good game coming up. This is a much well balanced group as well. You're looking at Germany, Ecuador, Cote d'Ivoire, and Curacao. This should be the first time, Ivory Coast will look to go into the knockout run of the FIFA World Cup, which it is a very long time, of Ecuador team, went into the run into the run of 16. Very long time, so only in the history of Ecuador, only one time ever been into the knockout stage. For Ivory Coast, they're yet to be there as well. Have produced so many legendary players. But sometimes they have been unlucky with some very, very good draws, into the group stage, very difficult, to get out as well. But looking at the starting 11, much very surprised of some of the players who is not in the club at this moment, where you're looking at the Ecuadorian team, Ordonez, very good young defender already, making a name for himself, just like William Pacho was in the Bundesliga. Yeah, I think it was in Frankfurt, making that big move to Paris Saint-Germain, no, one of the best in the world in his position. But this man here, if Ecuador going to do anything in this game are beyond the group stage, Gaindes, man that's playing in Argentina at this moment for Huracan, he's going to be key. This is his second World Cup, for Gaindes. Yeah. So this is a much experienced versus an inexperienced team at this level. The Ecuadorian players are well experienced, at this level. In a Valencia, you talk about all-time goal scorer, for Ecuador, and overall at the World Cup, so many goals he have scored. I think he scored like 6 World Cup goals, the most a player have ever scored in his country. So he's a top. But looking at the starting 11 for Ecuador, Inicapie, out here on the left side of the back three as well. Vite, man that's playing in the Liga MX for Pumas, is in it as well. No Estopiniani, from AC Milan is in the team. No, he's on the bench at this moment. But the battle of this game will be the midfielders. Yeah, you look at Alan Franco playing for Atletico Mineiro in the Brasileiro League. Moises Caicedo is partnering as well. Plata, no Preciada, out on that right hand side. Sebastian Bassasisi, choose Plata, the Flamengo man, out wide. It's very interesting, So I think he's more going with a more solid core of players, that can keep it together. This Ivory Coast team is a very defensive, sturdy team. They're going to get to their side as well very shortly. But yeah, very good team. Good to see that Plata is getting, some very good looking. Valencia will be the vocal point. You look at, he has scored the most goal last campaign. Scored the most goals in the last 2 campaign, for this Ecuadorian team, in the Russian edition and in the Qatar edition as well. Yeboah, I think he's a German descent Ecuadorian player as well. So with Ghanaian descent as well. So let's see how this Ecuadorian team will react. I've watched a few of their games in recent times, especially one of those qualification games when they played away. I think in in Argentina, yeah, where they played in Argentina in Buenos Aires. I think it was in River Plate Stadium as well. So I've seen a few games, full 90-minute watching it on the TV. So I know what they're capable of as well. Finish well comfortable. This Ecuadorian team finished well comfortable in the CONMEBOL qualification run as well. But this is a very, very good, setup as well. Let's see who can be the game changer. You're looking at Kevin Rodriguez, someone who have scored important goal as well, in Copa America for this Ecuadorian team. Kendra Paez as well, nowadays at this time struggling for some bit of a club form after fame in his early days of his club career. And also, Hervis Estopiniani, you very be key to see if he will get off this bench for this Ecuadorian team as well. But this is a man in Angelo Preciado, nowadays, this time playing for Atletico Mineiro, player that used to play in Czech Republic. But it's crazy, I've not seen him, try probably matriculate into that player that I think he would have been after. I used to once played in Europe, but let's see, some very good, quick players on the bench, some number nines on the bench as well that can bring a different dynamic to this Ecuadorian team. Very intrigued to see how, Sebastian, the Chilean coach, implement some of these players into the team as well. We're going to move to this Ivory Coast team. Fofana is in the goal. Conan is out wide, and Doe, yeah, one of the and it's almost a goal from Ena Valencia. Almost. He's the most dangerous player, in this Ecuadorian team. You look to really get a threat, as you can see inside of the Philadelphia Eagles NFL stadium. It's a sea of yellow, but is that a foul or is that? Oh, that cannot be a foul. He tripped. He tripped. The Besiktas man trip. Agbadado. That guy, such an unbalanced player at times. But yeah, no Amad Diallo. No Amad Diallo. Torre, the young, sensation as well. Playing for Offenheim. I think he's 20 years old. These two players on the wing. Diamande, someone, double digits of goal contribution in the Bundesliga for RB Leipzig. I think a lot of eyes will be on this player as well. Wahai would have known him. I think he used to play for Lens, played in the Champions League as well. So player have good experience, Nicolas Pepe, missed the last AFCON because of certain statement, towards a particular country. So he wasn't a part of that squad into the AFCON, but he's back in it. But looking at a very decent, strong bench for the Cote d'Ivoire team, Amad Diallo is on the bench. Simon Andingara, him very much at playing at is it Brighton? I think it's Brighton, Sunderland, think something like that. Yeah, Evan Gusar, Premier League player as well. Omar Diakite, playing for Club Brugge Circle in the Belgium Pro League as well. So very much, some game changer, some given point, Ibrahim, Sanagri from Nottingham Forest will play some part, and Amad Diallo in this second half as well. This player, Ousmane, Diamande for Sporting Lisbon, he's a very good young player coming up. Still not managed to break into MRC Fahe team as yet, as still a bit probably early in his career as yet. So let's see how he will matriculate, but yeah, much strong bench, in their own rights, lots of option to come off the bench as well. But 12 minutes in, so far, very interesting game, quick game. I just think Ecuador is the team that seems like they have the edge, over this Cote d'Ivoire team, as is a shot coming from Yeboah Zamora, from that right hand side, cutting in on his left foot. Very famous as well of that type of a play. But I've seen him lots of time trying those plays, playing in the Copa America when they in group with Venezuela, Jamaica and Mexico. Yeah, so he's a African descent player with a bit of European in his genes. Very good player, very good player. Yeboah Zamora, very good player. Yeah, but what can we take from this game so far? Ivory Coast look a bit little, fragile, so far. Yet to really see the two players that they hope to get on the ball to really control and allow their more creative wingers, attacking players to get on the ball. Look how deep, Nicolas Pepe have to be coming to drop as well. No real space for Diamande. He's trying his best, try to wiggle himself out of dangerous areas, but the Ecuadorian players are such a quick play of closing down as well, especially out on this right, especially out on this left hand side, where they're such a fantastic player. Yeah. Quite a few changes around, with this team. Let's see how they will manufacture themselves, in this game. But Ivory Coast seems like they're a bit, trying to hold on to the football a little bit longer, make some passes, get their players into the game, get their feet wet, try to pull away these Ecuadorian players much out of their defensive structure. Look, these two teams, arguably, two of the strongest defensive team, in this group alongside Germany as well. Look at Ivory Coast, in the qualification round, they not even conceded a goal throughout the entire qualification process in that last round. So it's very interested to see how, this Ecuadorian team, break them down. And it's almost a slight opportunity, for Fofana on the edge of the 18-yard box, but that ball was blocked. And it's, Diamande going on that right-hand side, looking on the overlap from Due, man from Strasbourg, he scored that famous goal versus France in France, where Ivory Coast make a big comeback in that game to beat, the former world champion as well. 2-1. Strong Ivory Coast team. I think this is the opportunity for Ivory Coast to really make amends of themselves, to really set a good template in this World Cup. And I think to make some of the legendary players, plays like the Didier Drogba, the Solomon Kalou, the Wilfred Boney, the Torre brothers as well, those players have never make it out of the group stage, and it's so close from Ivory Coast again. It seems like Ivory Coast is taking over the game with their quick transition play as well. Yeah, you could see the Offenine player out on that left hand side. Such a fantastic play, quick transition move to the middle from KCA to Fofana. See how quick they can transition that ball into. I think that was a good save from Gaindes. That was a fantastic save, and that should have been a corner. Will they? No, it's not. It only can be reviewed if it was given a corner. It cannot be reviewed if it wasn't given a corner. So that's a let off right there, and it's a very direct long kick to Yeboah. Oh no, it's not Yeboah. It was Minde, number 14 for Ecuador. That was a very direct kick from Gaindes. That's one thing where the Ivory Coast players have to look out for, where that direct pass, over the top, Plata and Minde is such a quick player, especially when Ena Valencia is dropping deep. You will always have those two players running off the shoulder and running into the channels to give forward options as well. But you see, Diamande is such a fantastic player, and it's, oh my God, such a quick player with his feet. Wahai, the Nice man could not pounce on that, as Ecuador look really like a suspect in this opening 20 minutes, as it's a late flourish in the last 5 for the Cote d'Ivoire team, as they call themselves the Lee Elephant. It's Diamande out on this right hand side up against Inekapie. will this a matchup we will see in the Premier League coming up? And it's Diamande. Oh my God, this player is a joy to watch in this World Cup. The RB Leipzig, man, it is a joy to watch this player. It's 20 minutes in and he already started the show. Can I grab some popcorn? Diamande, he's such a fantastic player. As who watch the Bundesliga would know so much about this player. Yeah, three assists, I think, and 9 goals for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga this campaign. Such a fantastic player with quick feet, and it is the elephant with a corner kick at this moment. Um, Went to high school, with so many, students from Ivory Coast. Teach me a lot about the country. Have much they big on football. It's all about football and their religion in that country. So again, it's very interested. I think this World Cup is the year where Ivory Coast will have some success, and it has to be. If this is not the year, again, this is arguably, a very young team mixed with a bit of experience, from the middle of, Fofana and Frank Kessié, but all around, I just think this Ivory Coast is probably one of the youngest team in the World Cup. Yeah, I have Ivory Coast to win based off the experience, the team. As I think it's going to be a very close encounter. But at this level, in this current squad, the Ecuadorian players, there's around 7 to 8 of these players who have played in the Russian edition and in the Qatar edition. So they have some experience, at that level. You know, Arguably, the Ivory Coast team, struggle to make, World Cups in the past as well. Sometimes they just been unlucky with some of the group stage draw as well. With I think I remember in 2010 where Brazil, Portugal, and I think Serbia was in that group, if my memory serves me right, with Ivory Coast. So they have all, always be favored in some group where they always face some giant, and it goes even back, 4 years before that. It was, I think, Argentina and Netherlands was in their group. So it's very tough, for Ivory Coast in the past. But I just think with the expansion and, with the young players at this moment, I just feel like they are up for it at this moment. You get what I'm saying? They are up for it this moment. So let's see if this Cote d'Ivoire team really can get on top of this Ecuador team as they're pushing them right in deep into their defensive third. But lots of eyes so far on the RB Leipzig, man, at this moment. Such filthy feet. Any Capier will have loads of problem to deal with. Also, whoever is partner with him out on this left hand side, will it be Minde or will it be Yeboah Zamora? Here he goes again, with the likes of Diamande on the ball. No one's want to come to him. He's such a clever player. Any Capier is having such a poor time with the young Ivory Coast player so far in this game. Again, this arguably could be his last season in the Bundesliga, as I think Premier League clubs will be sharking around this player. Early links so far. I know Liverpool have, sent scouts, to watch this player, in the Bundesliga, as he will be such a very good replacement, maybe for Mohamed Salah. That will be a big shoes to fill, for the young Ivory Coast player as well. So lots of love coming all around the globe for Diamande. Just like to see this player play, man. He's such a fantastic player. I like to see player, expressing themselves, playing it like as it's a street football. So you don't want to say you're disrespecting the player, but playing with so much skills, yeah. And the danger of running towards a player very direct as well. So 0-0. Ecuador won that first 10 to 15 minutes, but you're talking about the last roughly around 10 minutes. I think it's much even first half so far, as we are coming up for that first hydration break very soon as well. So from the 15th minute to the 23rd minute, Cote d'Ivoire much control that segment of the game as well. You could see Ecuador is trying to stretch the field, push their players as wide as possible, and oh my God, such a very good shot. That was Yeboah again coming off that right hand side with this famous left foot. Hit the crossbar. No way. Fofana in between the sticks for Cote d'Ivoire could not even move. He was stunned on his legs. The level of the pace of this game, at such early days in the game, it's remarkable all these players are playing with such intensity already. We know, the Ecuadorian team is a team that they don't play slow football. They're very athletic. One of the most athletic team as well with Argentina in South America as well. And that will all comes down to the young players, they have in their team, so looking at the average age of the starting 11, Ivory Coast 26, Ecuador 27 as well. Guyanese much is the oldest figure on this team, 39 years old as well. But if you look at this Cote d'Ivoire team, Frank Kessié, has been around the blocks for quite some time. Fofana, those two players will be the elder statesman as well, inclusive of Nicolas Pepe, someone who have missed the last major tournament for the Elephants. So let's see what these young players will bring, to the party as well. Very inexperienced manager, Emery Fahy, the former Cote d'Ivoire player as well. Remember, he took over from, I think it is the French coach Renard, in that famous Afghan tournament where they just couldn't get things going. And he took over during the tournament, man, and he won it for them. Yeah, he won it for them. So it tells you that, oh, good of a team this is, Ahmad Diallo cannot get in, even though he's wasn't so sharp, wasn't so good. Manchester United, this campaign, especially the second half of the Premier League season, he was a shadow of what he can do, on the pitch. But let's see, what will happen in that second phase of the first half post the hydration break as well. But I'm very loving life at this moment, watching these two young team with a few elder statesmen in the middle of the pitch as well, in the goal as well, playing in the number 9 position as well. So I think it's a well balanced, even out team. But remember, I said it through the last final round of the the World Cup qualifier phase for Ivory Coast. Can give you guys some quick fact check as well, where Ivory Coast was unbeaten campaign, 8 wins, 2 draws, 0 lost, best defensive in the group, did not concede a single goal in 10 matches, average 2.5 goals scored per game, one of the strongest qualifying record in Africa. Who was in that group? Gabon, Gambia, Kenya, Burundi, and Seychelles. So they make a very fantastic late run in the final phase of their qualification run in CAF football as well. Yeah, so Ivory Coast as a team, as I said, man, lots of legendary players, have came through, that national team, and they are yet to really get themselves in the knockout round. They don't know how knockout round football tastes. I believe this campaign will be the year when Cote d'Ivoire finally get some taste of what it is to play in knockout round football. As Ecuador, since I think this is their 5th or 6th World Cup finals now, and they only make it one time out of the group. So very interested to see how they really take charge of this group, with Germany and Curacao to come as well later down in the rest of the match days. Think they fancy themselves to get out of this group. I think those 3 teams are the favorite, and I surely think with Curacao, getting 7-1 today as well will put a lot of dent. And if they could do anything confidential wise, which I think they will come out hard, swinging high, against Cote d'Ivoire and Ecuador, just try to take this World Cup one step at a time, to be happy, to enjoy it. It's the first time for this country. It's a small nation. in the Caribbean as well. So I just think there's not much, to lose, for this Curacao team, as they did very well, to get into the stage. So looking at it, Sekou Fafana, receive a yellow card already in this game. That's something to monitor right there. But the midfield, man, the midfield have a lot of drip, physical player. Let's see how the matchup will be. I'm still waiting to see which midfielder will win the game for their national team, because it is a lot of force and brutality in that midfield. We know how hard, Sekou Fofana can be. We know how physical, Moses Caicedo can be, his partner in that midfield, Alan Franco from Atletico Mineiro. We know how physical he can be as well, but more of the refined player that can really set the tempo, as I see him dropping right in between Willian, Pacho, and Ordonez in that back three. And you could see that, Inikapia is pushing all the way up as well, and it is very good take from Fofana, the Ivory Coast goalkeeper, looking very comfortable collecting that ball wide from Minde already. So let's see, and it's already a battle one right there. Moses Caicedo getting the best of Sekou Fofana in the middle of the park. Picked his pocket, and his Ecuador is on the attack, and it's a very slick pass. And it's Ecuador. Oh my God, this is the second time the Ecuadorian team is hitting the crossbar. It's like these two teams are giving each other a taste of their medicine in every 10 to 15 minutes in the game, as it's Ecuador time to really attack. And you really could see the distribution of the passes into the final third. Very slick, very comfortable, very direct. Oh, such a fantastic game coming from the Ecuadorian players. No, it is the Ecuadorian players to take charge late into the first half. It's a very good pass right there. Who was that? I think that was Alan Franco, the man in the midfield. Yeah, I think. Hey, that was Vite in the midfield. Very good pass of him. Wow, should have done a lot more, to get on the end of that, get that ball into the back of the net. But there's one thing, in this game, we yet to really see what the two number nines really can do up front, for Cote d'Ivoire, Wahai and Nicolas Pepe, is yet to really get on this ball as the game is playing right around them, but it's more on what the likes of Diamande and the man's at Offenheim Tory out on that left-hand side is bringing for this Cote d'Ivoire team. I believe the more Nicolas Pepe and Wahai, can get in this game, it will give this Ivory Coast a lot more opportunities and a respite as well. But they yet to really hold on to the football in the defensive third of the Ecuadorian team. As anytime the ball comes a bit close, they lose possession and it goes right back into the half of the Cote d'Ivoire team. And that is a big, big problem so far for Emerson Faye. Something he needs to fix going forward as well. So let's see how it will pans out. But as you can see, this Ecuadorian team, they're very much switching formation. They're very much switching up different position on the pitch. You see the likes of, Franco and Vite and Yeboah, they are very switching. Sometimes you see, Plata wide wing back. Sometimes you see him wide right winger, getting deep into the Cote d'Ivoire half as well. So they're very much switching, positions a lot of the time. So I think it's very hard to contain by this Cote d'Ivoire team. They're going to have to be very good in their position awareness and where these Ecuadorian players are running. So I think, Ecuador have proven that they can play high-level competitive football. If you look at the last two Copa America, Argentina is the team that got the better of them over the last two Copa America, where they knocked them out twice. In the quarterfinal. And if you remember that last Copa America here in the US and US side, they lost on penalty shootout as well, where I think it was Kevin Rodriguez, the man that's always on the bench playing his football in Belgium, at this moment found a late controversial goal for the Ecuadorian team to bring Argentina into PK, where Argentina get the better of their rival as well. So they know and understand, to play against high level competitive teams. So I just think, it is the golden era of Ecuadorian football at this moment, and they much need to achieve something from these sets of players, because you look at how they punch above their weight in Copa America. They be underachieving very much. Yeah, very much they be underachieving, because look at the last Copa America zone, Venezuela, Mexico, and the Reggae Boys team. They managed to get 4 points. Yeah, they managed to get 4 points and still find themselves qualified for the knockout run. So it's not really good enough locally in the Copa America, but I think they demonstrate themselves very much in the qualifying, where I think they finished fourth, and they were one of the strong team in the CONMEBOL qualification run as well, getting some very good results. I remember even go back to one of those games. They smashed Ecuador, Colombia at pieces. Yeah, smashed them 6-1 with the likes of Duvan Zapata was on the page. Ahmed Rodriguez, was on the pitch. So they know how to get around high efficient team that play high possession football. And you could see again, and it's Diamande out, and it's wide right, and he's creating opportunity, and it's Ecuador. Oh my God. How can you not finish that? What a fantastic run again from the 19-year-old Diamande. My goodness grace. He is having a field here on that right-hand side. How Nicolas Pepe did not finish that for the Elephants. You have to finish that. You have to let the young 19-year-old teenager work show on the pitch that what a wonderful run. Come on, Nicolas. You must finish that. I believe this player is the difference for this Ivory Coast team. He will be the difference in this team. I'm just loving life watching this player. Where to watch online? I don't know where to watch this game online. If you can't find yourself some proper legal streaming to watch the World Cup, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. This is a 4-year event. If you cannot find a proper legal stream to watch this game and to watch the FIFA World Cup, I'm not sure. I question the credibility of a football lover. The only individuals supposed to not having access of watching the FIFA World Cup are the ones that are incarcerated and locked up in jail and prison at this moment. But from long as you are out and have freedom, you must find yourself some legal coverage to watch this World Cup. It is every 4 years. Come on, my friend. I'm going to question the credibility of a football lover. But again, you are missing such a fantastic game. 36 minutes in, Ecuador 0, Cote d'Ivoire 0. A fantastic game. I think this Ecuadorian coach, he's going to have to come up with a tactical approach, or he's going to double team, Diamande out on this right hand side. He's such a clever player. Yeah, he's a menace so far for this Ecuador team. He's a menace. And Due out on this right hand side, coming from the right back position as well. He is a very good proposition. Getting the overlaps as well, and really, supporting his player out on that right hand side. So very much a very good game. So far, I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it at this moment. You can see Vit. you, you could see, they're very much switching possessions a lot of time. You could see just before that free kick, Vit, drop in like a back three, with this Ecuadorian team in the back three and, taking the ball off, William Pacho or, Ordonez in that back line. Very much comfortable, receiving the ball and the half turn as well, the game showing everywhere. Yeah, I mean, blessed, Conrad Smith, I don't know why, FIFA, you're asking me the game online. This game, the World Cup showed everywhere and free to your TV. So I'm not sure. Valencia is 36. Yeah, leading goal scorer for his national team, most goals scored by an Ecuadorian player in the World Cup, 6 goals as well, looking for his seventh in this game. Surely, at some point in this World Cup, he will score a goal for the Ecuadorian team. So, looking very equally so far as both teams are controlling different segments of the game. You will say the first 15 minutes was Ecuador. From minute 15 to around 25th, it was Ivory Coast. And then, the next 5 minutes, it was Ecuador. And it seems like the next 5 minutes, it is Ivory Coast again. So there, it's a very much even balance. Local TV, Liam watching it now. I mean, I don't know where, what coverage you're watching, Conrad. What coverage you're watching? What the hell wrong with Valencia? TVJ, nah, sure, that's crazy. Well, you probably, remember I said TVJ and Rush, I think Rush Sports. So I'm not sure. TVJ and Rush Sports, I think, have the rights in Jamaica. But you're going to have to find it yourself, a stream. I really cannot help you. Cannot help you, my friend. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry about that, but you're probably going to have to ask someone else for some, some other streaming, which more likely probably will be illegal streaming, but probably going to have to find it, go on the internet and probably search or something. But I know a lot of people out there probably watching it, on some different coverage by downloading certain apps or certain website, but I can't help you. I try to make sure that I have the right coverage where I can watch, the games, because you don't want these games to be missed. You don't want to miss these games. It's a very good game actually playing at this moment. Ecuador and Ivory Coast, very even balanced team. Some very good youngsters, playing this game at this moment. You're looking at Diamande, for Ivory Coast. You're looking at Plata, for Ecuador as well. Capie is very good players coming through. Caicedo's are established CDM as well now in the world, are still very young. So I just think some very good young display on the TV at this moment. And I think the scouts will be licking their lips in this game. They will definitely see a few players that they would like to scout even furthermore and to get them into their team, especially on the Ivory Coast team where they have so many youngsters. Torres out on that left-hand side to play for Offenheim in the Bundesliga. He's a very good youngster, but we yet to really see, flashes of him like we're seeing flashes from Yanni Diamande as well. But it is Ecuador controlling the game again, shifting it, wide, and he's getting back into the half of Ivory Coast. It's the Ecuadorian players are pitching tents at this moment. All 10 outfield players inside of the Ivory Coast box, getting closer. So again, Agbado is a very good defender. Agbado, very good defender. I love watching that player. I don't know how is he, finding himself at this moment, to be playing in Besiktas, but I think he is a fantastic player. So far, 3 yellow cards for Cote d'Ivoire. Gula, Die, Dewey, and Frank Kessier and Sekou Fofana. So the two double pivots in the midfield for Ivory Coast currently on yellow cards. So maybe, Senagri, the man from Nottingham Forest, will get some taste of football at some given point with the two double pivots and a yellow card at this moment. That's a risk going into the second half of this game for Emerson Faye, the Cote d'Ivoire coach as well. Diamande, he's such a good thinker of the ball. He try not sometimes to hold on to the ball. He try to play players in, moving space. Try to get freedom as well. Try to hold on to the football for too long where he draw enough attention where they close him down, or get in contact with him where they can, get opportunity to kick him. But it's one touch thinking, two touch, you could see that he's working on it this game where he don't want to be on the ball for too long. Whenever you get the nice real estate to dribble, that's when you're going to see the player explode into a different beast. Wow. Wasteful, man. Wasteful. Wow. Very good read by Gaindes. Very good read by Gaindes. Cuatro minutos of added time in 4 minutes left before the end of this first half. This first half ends in a rush as the game is playing in a rush. Both teams are playing very quick, high tempo. Loving it. We yet to see, goals as it was just like the Netherlands game where Japan and Netherlands square off in that first 45 minutes where it was 0-0. Quite a few chances in that game as well, but all four goals scored in the second half of that game where you're looking at both teams, very good team, finish out games as well, where in that game, the Japan team very much, likes to score goals in the second half, just like, they scored 5 goals in the last World Cup and 4 of those all came in the second half. Netherlands, 10 goals scored last World Cup and 6 goals all came in the second half. So that's 60 and 80% for both teams, scoring second half goals in last edition of Qatar World Cup. So looking forward to see, this time around what this Ecuadorian team and this Cote d'Ivoire team will bring to the party. Yet to see a goal. I think we will see even a much better game into the second half, which I think both coaches will really, grab them team by the scruff of the neck in the dressing room. I will give them very interested team talk as well, tactical approach. And I think the Ecuadorian coach should be looking at Diamande as someone that he needs to contain as well. How can you really contain a player like that? It's going to be very tough. Will he have any Cappy, getting a bit more closer to him? Or will he ask him, to give him room so he can turn? But if you give that player room to turn and run at you, it's just a pace and glide. Oh my God, what a fantastic play from Nicolas Pepe. Such a fantastic turn from the former Arsenal man. That's a cheap giveaway again from the Ecuadorian team. That was from the most experienced man at the back, William Pacho. And we are going into the third minute of extra time as well when it's 4 minutes of time added on into the first half. Would see Emerson Faye, the Cote d'Ivoire coach, is having some word with the official, wondering if that was for some call that wasn't supposed to be for the Ecuadorian team. Is a bit intrigued to ask what was that. But yeah, this first half, fired first half, very good play by both teams. Yeah, the half has come to an end, 0-0 from Cote d'Ivoire. Ecuador. Much, I think it's a very good half. I think it was a very good battle. I was more of expecting to look at the battle with the two players, in that midfield, the KCA and the Moses Caicedo. If you look at Fofana, both those two players, the Ivory Coast midfielders, both receive a yellow card as well. But I think, to be honest, when you talk about the battle in the midfield, it's quite even. There's not too much is going on there. You see quite a few times where Moses Caicedo, get on the ball, and you know get the better of Fofana, picking his pocket as well. But all the drama has been happening wide right to the touchline. Diamande with Inekapi, I mean, that's the joy, of watching these two players going at it, 1v1. And I just think Diamande is probably, the best player on the field so far for Ivory Coast. And I think he created such a fantastic opportunity, for Nicolas Pepe, to score. And he didn't execute it. Yeah, he didn't execute it well, where he could put the ball in the back of the net. So I just think both teams are creating opportunities. I've seen Ecuador hit the post, twice in the game as well. I think one, I think one is from Yeboah Zamora, and I remember if the next one is from Vite, or it was from, no, I think it was from Minda, wide left as well. So both teams came real close, but I think the Ecuadorian team, came the closest to, to change the score line from 0-0 to 1-0 or a 2-0 up front. But a lot more to see. It's a lot more to see whether, this Ecuadorian team going to keep up to the momentum and the pace. I know this Ivory Coast team has been playing as well. But catch you guys back in a few, look, get some refreshment, and I will be back in a jiffy. So we are off, to the start of the second half again. Let's see how this team will finish this off and see who will win. I'm Ecuador's start to quick out the blocks this time around. Save it for the future game link with people, EPL and more. What was that, Conrad? You say beat down this morning. They save us from getting 9 or more. Jaja could have easily be playing Germany this morning for real. The Ecuadorian player hit the post again. Well work move by the Ecuadorian players. Good. Oh yeah, Conrad. Get what I said. Yeah, me just realized what I said. Oh, me see it. I just realized what I said. Ecuador on the attack again. Yeah, much. Yeah, I mean, Rani M90 could. I think there's a high possibility chance, man. They are going to lose all 3 games. This kid, out there on the near right side, Couture is getting it already. You could see Franco. He fouled by Franco out on that right hand side of the Ecuadorian defensive. Yeah, I think Curacao are going to lose the games, but I just think they're just going to be there, to enjoy the moment and be grateful that they did enough to qualify for the World Cup and to just to be a part of history, just to be amongst some of the elites as well. But yeah, the Reggae Boys definitely miss that beaten by miles away. Still not sure if we probably deserve to be in the World Cup. I don't think the Reggae Boys deserve to be in the World Cup. Can't come with weak leadership, poor management, and expect to be in the World Cup. It's not going to work. If you look at all the teams in this World Cup, like one QSO, 80, Australia, we see Australia going to knockout round. It happened last edition of the World Cup as well, and it's Ivory Coast and the attack, and very good play by Diamande. First time see him, Yan Diamande closely, centrally, getting a shot off target. I think this player is a very good player. Liverpool could use to replace Mohamed Salah. How much it will cost? I think you will. I think to get this boy at any club at this moment, it will probably take roughly close to 100 million. I don't think Leipzig will sell him for cheap, especially if he go on to have an explosive World Cup campaign as well and to score goals and put in very good performance, which you back him to do. So I think he will go to close or over the 100 mark as well. He will not go for cheap. Definitely know that he will not go for cheap. If Barcelona can get Anthony Garden, for such a price, and this player is way better than a lot of some of these growing men in their mid 20s, playing for their club. He's such a dynamic midfielder, on that right hand side at times. Australia is much bigger country compared to Curacao. I'm just saying, like, Australia is not really a football nation, but they're doing their best in recent times. It's a much bigger country, but they are using the route of getting diaspora players, players who have very good ties, with their country. So it doesn't really matter to me who bigger. They are doing the same thing. They are getting good diaspora players in as well, and Ivory Coast, getting a few diaspora players as well. But for Australia, they're getting so much players, who once was a refugee in different parts of the world. You get what I'm saying? So if you just look at some of the teams that been playing in the World Cup, so far, they playing some very, oh my God, such a fantastic. And he could, that was a very good move by this Ivory Coast team is play. Yo, listen, man, the level of football that we are watching at this moment, the level of intensity, we have never seen our beloved Jamaica team play to this level. Never. Even when we in the Copa America, we play like we play like we are some deadbeat soldiers upon the battlefield. Yeah, that tell you, say, yo, listen, coaching, preparation, and quality, yeah, it's a lot better than us. These players are well oil machine. These players are well more of a quality players. But if you look at like the setup, look at how they build a game model and what they doing on the pitch. Just look at the fundamental things that they're doing. They're moving the ball quick. They're playing the ball, through the spaces. Their players are such prolific players, can get the ball on the half turn. They're very physical, they're athletic. So if you see the fundamental things that some of these teams do, if your national team isn't doing all of that, you're going to be you're going to be in big trouble. Moving forward, you're going to be in big trouble. These players are running in space. These players are constantly running. Yeah, man, is probably worth more than the whole Jamaica team put together. Now, and that boy is a elite, that boy is a elite talent, man. If him to make it in a football, it have to be a part of him reason. Or some unlucky situation happen where he picked up some bad injury or something, but he's going right up to the top. He's going right up to the top. I'm not sure if our officials, from Jamaica is really paying keen attention to some of these national teams and look at how these national teams have been performing on the pitch. And I cannot find one coach, yeah? I cannot find one coach at the World Cup get hired for one of these national teams on the back of lack of experience, not being no real setup, professional setup of know exactly what needs to be done to get a national team up and running. You get what I'm saying? Watching this World Cup tells me that Jamaica has far away to go. Far away to go. But I'm saying these coaches at the World Cup, I cannot find a coach coming into one of these World Cup teams, didn't have the experience as a coach at a very top professional level, or didn't have the experience as a player playing at very elite level. It's, it's either one of those. Either he comes on the back of a very good international manager, or he comes in as a very good club manager, have some very experience, or if he's a very young manager, just like this Ivory Coast manager, Emerson Faye, around 42, 43 years old. He came in as one of the he came in as the assistant coach that was there with Renard in the AFCON that they won. And he was an ex-player. He once used to play for the national team. He once played in Europe top 5 league. And also I think he had a stint, I think, at the club that Shamar Nicholson used to play for, coaching their B team. So on the back of him coaching Cote d'Ivoire team, he exposed to a lot of stuff at the high level on the training pitch around a world-class club. So on the back of not having any experience and trying to come and learn on the job, it's going to cause a lot of chaos. It's going to cause a lot of chaos. I'm telling you. So Jamaica better be careful what they plan to do with that individual who suggests that apply for the job, because we have never seen our national team play to a level. Look at the level and look how composed the Haitian team play against Scotland, yesterday. Look at that game. That game alone tells you a lot, that the Asian players are very well balanced. They are very well coached. They are very well set up in everything they do. They're very well organized and they play to their strength. They're just unlucky that they never take one of them opportunity. But it just shows that coaching have a lot to do with our team play football. Because if you switch the Haiti team and give a particular coach that team and give the Reggae Boys team to the Haitian coach, just give him 2 or 3 games. You're going to see the difference of a caliber of a player. You're going to see you're going to be like, these players are not so bad as all we think. They're not the best. But I just think that the coaches that they're getting, they're not utilizing, the little advantage that the players can give to them. Thomas Christiansen came in at Panama with barely have a player in the Panamanian team playing in Europe top leagues. Barely have a player that was playing in Europe in a decent league. Barely. And look how he transformed the Panamanian team. So it's not just down to where the players are playing. The coach can make that difference. So you're telling me players playing in the championship and a few players playing in the Premier League at one time, and then lower tier than that and across Europe and the 1 and 2 that will be from the Jamaican Premier League, we cannot get a fine tune out of those players. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Coaching of a lot, and our players, they are not getting the proper coaching. The team is not under a very good systematic plan. No real identity, no real game model, nothing to get the best out of the players. They're just going out there just to play some football. The real plan that we see our team went under, under some very good structure, was that, Al Grimson and his defensive style, where we just look slightly different, more of a defensive unit, where sometimes, we look hard to break down. The defensive players seems like they were getting better at the time. And that probably takes away a lot from our attacking players. But that was something to build on. But they brought in a very half decent coach, which was Grimmy. Once prove himself, he can get teams into major tournaments, and the money that Grimmy was getting at the national team for Jamaica, with his experience, he was being underpaid. He should have getting way more money than that. But they did very well to get Al Grimsey through the door, someone that who knows to build a project. And the project was going very good. But this man came in through the door where there was no real data system, there was no real model around the federation to set up the national team to success. So this man have to be doing admin job, coaching job. So he's not even fully focused on what he was doing as a coach and what was the main priority was, Grimmy was doing as a coach. So that was a real last build that we have, but they run the build that way. So now you run the build that way. Let's see what the individual going to do, because this team going to be a disaster in the near future. Where football is going, we are going into the backward direction. Telling you that back way we're going. We don't even have a coaching staff right now. We are sending out list of requirements what coaches should have when we should be going out there to get our own coaches. That's crazy. You should be attacking the market very well of trying to get the best coach that going to suit the model that the federation going to work with. The president was asked, "What would you do if you have another opportunity to qualify for the World Cup?" That man said, "I don't know." How dare you say something like that? He was asked at the Popeyes Challenge Cup, "Do you believe this could have worked?" It took a lady to really to get him to believe in the project of a Popeyes Challenge Cup can work. Like, the man is just so crazy. No one lost their job in such a Jamaica biggest failure in the football fraternity. What was at stake? The prize money, everything to fix the football and the culture in Jamaica. But then someone said they want to do everything the different way, and they are doing the same thing over. Go back to local players. Where is the model? Where is the plan? We don't even know what type of football our national team play, but Jamaica is enough, yeah, man. But this is a very good game, See, Ecuador and Ivory Coast is sharing the possessions and how they attack, in different segments. Because look, man, I know me cannot see who tired and who not tired. Yeah. We see a few substitutions. I mean, I think I see Angelo Preciado, came on for Ecuador. So Amad Diallo came on as well. Johan Boni, came on as well. Nelson Angulo came on for Ecuador as well. Porozo, the defender, came on as well. He came on for Alan Franco. Preciado, came on for, I guess it's Yeboah, and Nelson and Angelo came on for Minda. Ahmad would have came on for Torre out on that left hand side. That was the substitution needed. And number 9 up front, Johan Boni came on for Wahai. Those two players are not really in the game, so I guess that's a very good substitution for Emerse Faye, the Cote d'Ivoire coach as well. No change inside the middle of the park as Fofana and Kessié continuing with yellow cards both on players as well. So maybe at some given point, we will see, Ibrahim Sanagiri, the Nottingham Forest man. But still even game. I'll be very surprised if this one finished 0-0. A World Cup game yet to finish 0-0 in the opening sets of days of this World Cup. So I'll be much surprised if this is a 0-0. So many chances created from both teams. No real clutch moment as well. Only game that we see came close to finish 0-0 was that Haiti and Scotland game, where that one ends 1-0 in the favor of Scotland as well. So Ecuador is on the football at this moment, slowing it down, but not giving any real chance for what's going on. Oh, yeah, but Ecuadorian team not giving any real chance to play out the football, pressing very much by the Cote d'Ivoire players. Still no signs of tired legs out there. Wow, wow, what a very good football. And when you look at the Copa America is the highest level the Reggae Boys played. We look last. Yeah, we look last. We look out of our depth. We look like we cannot even pass to beat and save ourselves. Crazy. And it's Ivory Coast is on the counter at this moment. And it's Due overlapping. Here goes Ahmad Diallo. And it's Ahmad over on that right hand side. Getting in. And it's Ahmad at the cross. Oh, and it's getting trying to find who's that? Nicholas. No, that is Johan Boni. His substitution that just came in as well. Very much in the game, Ivory Coast. I think if Ivory Coast can get a win from this game, it will be a magnificent 3 points, for the Elephants to go into the next sets of games versus Curacao and Germany. But a point from here, a point from here can even still be good, knowing that these two teams have to play Curacao, but the issue these two teams might finish on 4 points because you look at Germany, looking so strong, looking so powerful, scoring goals. You want to say if Germany can beat these two teams, they will finish the group stage on 9 points, which will be the first time finish outside of the group since. Oh, what a wonderful stroke kick. What a wonderful kick from Plata. What a wonderful stroke kick from Plata. Yeah, so more likely seeing Germany finish out the on top of the group and probably maximum 9 points. That would be the first time since 2014 in Brazil. So these two teams arguably can finish on 4 points, and probably the little advantage of the goal difference could be that small margin to separate both teams in second and third. And I think 4 points can send you into the knockout run if you finish third. Not many teams will finish on 4 points. I can say that. What, 12 groups? Yeah, not many teams will finish on 4 points. So 4 points definitely is a big advantage to finish in the third spot as well. So these two teams highly have a lot of opportunity to get in the run of 32. So a 0-0 draw is not the end of the road right here for these two teams. End of hydration break. Last hydration break for. I hate this hydration breaks, shit, man. Conrad, the man them tell us to forget about the group. What we wanna qualify from. Man, them want to erase that out of your memory. How can someone erase that? You cannot erase that, man. I mean, tell us a human being wicked in man. You have some human being out there, man. Tell you, man, them thinking is so cruel to the other people them out there. How can you erase that out of your mind? Cannot erase that. A man like me, it will forever live in the memory because on November the 18th, when that game was playing, my daughter was giving birth. So that is a long live in the memory of my memory box of what happened and what transpired on November the 18th, man. That is crazy. That's crazy, in it? I believe that the substitution for Amad Diallo, putting him on that right hand side, kinda take away something from the Amanda game playing on that left hand side in this game. I know he played a lot of games, for RB Leipzig on that left hand side, but in this game, I think it probably took away a slight edge from him because I think if you look over on that side, the Ecuadorian left side, he was having a field day against Incapié. And Ahmad is really yet to go down that side and give, the Cote d'Ivoire team, something to create about. That's a very good pass, very good pass from Johan. And if he could find someone inside of the box, and it was a very late ditch tackle as well. The game has been stretched very up the field. I think this is the last thing the Cote d'Ivoire team really wants. I think there's a few more substitutions. It's looking to come on as well for Cote d'Ivoire as well. Two more players looking to get in. Who will those players be? Who will get replaced? This game is well stretched, where it's like every battle on the field is a 1v1. God. The journey of the Amanda man is another story. When you grew up as an elite youngster, there's nothing can stop away your glory. Anywhere you go in the world, you're going to stand out. So that tells you our under 19 level in Jamaica at the schoolboy level. What we call good player, that's probably garbage to the world. That's just good in our own rights. A youth like that just some years ago was playing high school football in Jamaica, in America, right? Went abroad and he just started to cut it. He didn't spend a year or two in those countries. Find himself playing in the Bundesliga week in week out for RB Leipzig. So that tells you, say, when he's an elite youngster, no matter where you go in the world, you're going to show your class. And it is Sana Grace coming in as well. You expect what changes like that as well. Who's this? Eno Valencia is coming on. He's coming in for Kevin Rodriguez as well for Ecuador. Very tall, lengthy player. Scored a famous controversial goal versus Argentina in Copa America recently as well. I don't think Ivory Coast has been that team like they was in the first half. The Ecuadorians are very strong and powerful on the ball. Very strong team. I think they fail to really, get back into that rhythm. Kinda, fail to isolate the Amanda out on this left hand side, as you have to give the Ecuadorian coach a lot of respect as well, to clamp down on that free flowing football that he was creating in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit surprised there's not a goal in this game as yet. I'm a bit surprised, to be honest. That was a very good shot from Plata. But that was just too straight down the middle of Fafana to deal with as well. I'm a bit surprised there's no goal in this game. Good day here. They're talking about the famous defensive work of Cote d'Ivoire. 0 goal concede, 13 clean sheet in 18 FIFA World Cup qualifying matches. That's some impressive run. That is some impressive run by the Ivory Coast team. My goodness, great. I never heard of that. A team go right through to the World Cup group stage by not conceding a single goal in their qualifying. That is some impressive run. That tells you that this is a resurgent of a Ivory Coast team that is building for the future. Very young squad. You take a few players out of this squad and they inject a few more young people in for the next World Cup, and these young players will get older and have the experience. And we yet to see Gesard, yeah, the ex Villa man playing for Crystal Palace. We yet to see Andy Ngara on the pitch for Ivory Coast. Players that's very good, especially Andy Ngara. I think he was arguably their best player, in the last few African Cups as well. So very much in their own rights, they have a very deep squad of quality players that can come off the bench. I just think in this second half, against Ecuador just find a way how to be a lot more physical, not to allow them too much spaces and time on the ball where they just cannot get and find a rhythm and create like what they did in that first half. But you could easily see that Ecuador created some monster opportunity where should have scored, one, at least one of those opportunities. Hit the woodwork, quite a few times as well. You see in a Capia is bombing foul. You didn't really see that much in the first half as he was a bit quiet and tentative and how he goes forward because he know he'd leave a lot of room, for Diamande out on that right hand side in the first half. And you see each time Diamande get the ball, his two players on him. So, credit to the Ecuadorian coach. He learned his lesson. Yeah, he learned his lesson and he fixed the issue and solved the problem. It's all about, for the players and the coach for Ecuador, for Ivory Coast to, to counter attack, give Diamande a different, position on the pitch, set up. So I don't know, man, but it's just really not working out for him at this moment. Yeah, this is the real first time I've seen him, drive into the opposition box where he's looking for, his left-sided partner as well, coming from the left back position. It's been a dreadful second half for him. Dreadful. That's a goal kick. Emerson Fire. Come on. My guy is going crazy on touchline. My guy is going so crazy on the touchline, man. Jeez. That's it's last going into the last 5 minutes of this half. Still no goals. Yeah, it's crazy. I think at this point, Ecuador seems like they'd probably be okay with a point in this game. Let's see, what this set piece made up of for the Ecuadorian team. Very much looking over the football at this moment. Moises Caicedo to get this one inside of the box. And it was a very well driven free kick as well. Referee said goal kick, but the Ecuadorian players are saying corner kick. They much given that corner kick. Who that came off? That came off the head of the number 3 in the box for Ivory Coast as well, right on his back. He did not even appeal for it. It's a bit chaotic at this moment in the Cote d'Ivoire box where players are hanging on with each other. You could see Sankari trying to organize up things into the box. But yes, another corner again from the Ecuadorian team. See if they can perfect this one. And it's in. It's almost. And it's a counter. No, it's not on. Transition wasn't on as the player shielded. Very good play from the Cote d'Ivoire centre back at the mapping up things, but this game seems like it's a stalemate between the two teams. Seems like we will be having our first 0-0 draw into the World Cup so far. Another substitutions. Kosunu is coming in. And his Due is coming out as well. So it seems like a like-for-like substitution. Very much of a very aggressive. This game is a brutal encounter between the two teams. Hoping for their best in this game. It's a very good turn as well. Who's that out on that right hand side? It's a very good. It's a golazo, and it is a goal. It is a golazo. Amad Diallo in the 89 minute sent the Cote d'Ivoire team celebrating right in front of the Ecuadorian fan, and we are going to break that spell. No 0-0 draw in this World Cup so far, and it's been a very good show from the Cote d'Ivoire team. Much needed goal, and it is the Manchester United man came off the bench to help his team, putting him to the driver's seat to give them a perfect ending to the game to win this. Cote d'Ivoire win this game, they will find themselves somewhere in the knockout round, and you could see the reaction and the Ecuadorian fans. They are not having it at this moment. Sad moment, sad times for the Ecuadorian fans. To see a yellow, the stadium went quiet. Only could hear the few Cote d'Ivoire fans that scattered around in the stadium. I mean, what a wonderful goal. And it was the man who was placed in the starting 11, by Emerson Faye. Much arguably a talking point of not getting it. You could see the reaction, and a very good manager. Yeah, see the reaction. He was living it all game on the touchline. He was living it right there on the touchline and giving his all. That's how you want a manager to be. That's how you want a manager, to change the game with his substitutions. And it tells you that, listen, the Cote d'Ivoire team is here for a reason. And I've seen it. Building up to this World Cup, this is their moment. This is their opportunity. A lot of media, outlet in France, in Africa, having this team to go the distance where The golden generation of the Didier Drogba, the Solomon Kalou never took this team. No, they believe that these young elephants can bring this team way ahead than the previous regime and the different players as well. So very much happy moment. Let's see. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to close out this game. Let's see if the Ecuadorian player can create at least one more big chance to give themselves a bit of opportunity to salvage a point in this group. But well managed by Emerson Faye. I think his substitutions has been brilliant, but I was still thinking, what is the counteraction, of him towards the players double teaming, is arguably the most dangerous player in that first half, Yan Diamonde, but he brought on different people onto the pitch, people that can carry football, and you could see it was a very good run over on that right-hand side as well, and it was a very good slot, very good finish from Amad Diallo. Very good game. I like this game. I think this game has been probably one of the best game, of the day, so far. We have one more game to go, and that is the Tunisia versus a big boy in Scandinavia, Sweden. Much waiting for that game as well. That's a very good placement. That's a very good goal. That's a very good show, from Amad Diallo. Just guide that one in with his left foot on the far post of the goalkeeper as well on the right-hand side where he dived but couldn't dive enough. It was well placed. And they grabbed the opportunity late in the game where not much reaction you can bring, after conceded in such a late fashion in the game where the Ecuadorian team is just going direct. Who will be the goal scorer when Ener Valencia, the man that scored 6 goals in World Cup plays for his Ecuadorian team, all-time leading goal scorer, is out? Who will give them the opportunity to get a very good goal again? You could see the likes of Diamande is getting onto the show into the last of this moment. He's such a touchy player. And it's Amad Diallo again, shots on target, but right in the arms of Callendes, the Ecuadorian goalkeeper. And the Ecuadorian is on the charge again, looking to stay positive, looking to stay on the front foot, looking to create one more big opportunities, as it is a shock. Many people have this Ecuadorian team to get a positive result, especially getting maximum 3 points in this game. Arguably one of the team that can finish in second behind, the Germans, but Ivory Coast have a different say in this game, and the difference was Amad Diallo off the bench, where he found the back of the net in the 89th minute, and it is a corner kick for the Ecuadorian team. Very much needed. You could see as well the Ivory Coast goalkeeper is trying to get his team organized and be ready and prepared, ready for this corner kick, as this is arguably one of the last real set piece for Ecuador into this game. Let's see what they made up of. The likes of Ordonez is up there. The likes of William Pacho is up there as well. Kevin Rodriguez, some very tall figures in that Cote d'Ivoire box, ready to pounce on anything Moses Caicedo can swing across over on that left-hand side. Here we go with the set piece, and it is Moses Caicedo, and it's a very good header as well out for another corner for the Ecuadorian team. The fans looking a little bit happy, looking a little bit sad, looking a little bit worried. Some just barely can look on. What will happen? Will it be an equalizer? And it's a whipping in for Moses Caicedo, and it's well directed out by the Cote d'Ivoire team, and it's Amad Diallo on the charge, and he's looking for Yan Diamande, and it's 1v1, and he did very well from Angelo Prociado, the Ecuadorian midfielder, did very well to get that ball away from Yan Diamande, else that would have been easily a 2-goal up for the Elephants, but they're slowing it down, take this thing out of the game, have some bit of a respite. The Ecuadorian team is chasing it, cannot get the ball. Much needed. The ball went all the way back to Fofana in the goal, as he's going to go direct, as he was told by center half. And the whistle is almost close by the referee mouth. Here goes Moses Caicedo getting it through to Angulo, and it was a well direct mapped up again by the Cote d'Ivoire team, and it is close. Yeah, it is very close. Getting to the end of the game where Ivory Coast will win this game 1-0. Much needed win. Much needed win. And there's some fact check as well. You know, the last time this Cote d'Ivoire team won a game in a FIFA World Cup, it was against Japan in 2014. Goes back previously before that, it was in 2010 versus South Korea as well, beating them in that group stage with Brazil and Portugal. And you could go back beyond 2010, Serbia and Montenegro when it was one country in 2006 in Germany. So this is arguably their fourth win in the entire history of Cote d'Ivoire team in the World Cup, and it will come against the Ecuadorian team if they cannot find a goal to equalize this game. But they are living very dangerous in a thin line at this moment, and it's Ecuador on the chart. Oh, and it's a very good last-ditch tackle as well. Was it a corner kick? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The goalkeeper signal what time it is, but the referee have said there's more time for the corner kick. Let's see. Last real ditch left for the Ecuadorian team. Who will swing this across? It will be this captain, Moises Caicedo. The Cote d'Ivoire fans, looking well confident. The Ecuadorian fans looking a bit worried. Will this be their night? As Moses Caicedo looking very, very worried on that touchline, getting that ball in as well. So let's see if he can swing in a very good cross. And it in. Well defend, and it was. And it's out. What is that? Game is finished. Final, finito. And it's end 1-0 to Cote d'Ivoire. 1-0 to the Ivory Coast team. Well deserved from the Ivory Coast team. Anyone would have gone to win this game, that'll be a well-deserved win as well. Both teams played really well. It was a fantastic game. Ivory Coast looked well and sure on their way to qualify for their first knockout round, match day one in Group E, with the teams left to play, Curacao and Germany. They must see some lights at the end of the tunnel to get into the knockout round stage in the World Cup for the very first time in the history of their World Cup performance as well. So, people, we'll leave it right there. Amad Diallo, you will probably give him man of the match as he gets the most important play correctly in this game. As you could see, man, the Ivory Coast fans very happy in the front of the camera, living it at this moment. Very young team. I think this team can go far to the distance. Many people said, the Morocco team can challenge, themselves again to go to another semi-final. You cannot doubt that. The Senegalese team, I'm not sure how far they can go as well. We yet to see Sadio Mane and the likes of Koulibaly in that team, but more to come. We're seeing two very good performances from two very good African teams as well. So let's see what will happen from now. Yet to see the Black Stars. Ghana, as you know, Ghana represent football in Africa. Is it safe to say that? I'm not sure. But yeah, people, I'm out. Yeah, I'm going to get some stuff done. Get prepared again for that Nether live stream where Tunisia will play big boys from Scandinavia. Sweden. Yeah, people, I'm out. See you guys until next time.